Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is thrift store shopping. And I'm going to be talking specifically about thrift shopping for spring decor for your home. Spring is right around the corner, and not only is it just for thrift stores, but yard sales may be popping up in where your neck of the woods and where you live. Usually for us, it's May when the yard sales start picking up. And also look for church sales. They are my favorite. I absolutely love church sales. So it's spring is coming. It's time to refresh your home. I just recorded a podcast about, some maintenance and some way, decluttering and deep cleaning. But now let's get to the fun stuff and let's, decorate our homes, bring in bright, fresh vibes that come with the season, and thrifting for spring decor. It's budget friendly, usually, just like with any shopping. You want to make sure that you stick to your budget. And I do know that thrift stores are getting more expensive. So you definitely just have to keep your budget in mind and know what you will and will not pay for something. But it is one of the best ways to score unique and budget friendly pieces that will just transform your spaces and just welcome the new season. So I'm going to walk you through some of my top thrift store finds for spring and how you can use them to create just a great look in your home. So first of all, some of these would be on my, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, list. And you'll be able to tell, like the ones that are like this first one, wicker baskets, like always. It's one of my favorite aisles at the thrift store. So it's a staple for any time of year, but especially for spring, it's a great time. They're not only functional, which is what I love about them. They're functional, but yet they look great. They can add a cozy rustic vibe to any room. You can find them at most thrift stores for a great price, and they're perfect for organizing and displaying different things. Flowers, linens, obviously it depends on the size and all of that, but I love using them for storage solutions, hanging them on the wall when you can find some old flat baskets. Look for ones, here's like a little extra tip, look for ones that have great texture and different sizes that work well in your space, and then just get really creative on how you use them. You can even hang baskets that aren't flat on your wall and then like roll up hand towels or washcloths, like think of it in a bathroom. And then stack them in that hung basket. There's just so many different things that you can do with baskets, and their texture and color, especially when you can find those older, like not worn, but like the patina is just perfection. It's just, they're so good, so good. Okay, the next one is floral or pastel linens. Just linens, so like blankets, linens for your dining room table, tablecloths, napkins, curtains. Give your space a fresh look with a floral tablecloth or table runner. It can make all the difference. Changing your throw pillows on your, your sofa or your chairs, just with some pastel covers. It's such an easy way to bring in spring decor without a lot of work. Vintage vases and pitchers. So when you think of spring, you think of florals and stems and, flowers and all of that. So a vintage vase or a pitcher, it's another great find when you're thrifting. I have found some amazing glass, ceramic, pottery that just makes a perfect centerpiece for spring. Think outside the box when you're looking for vessels. I guess I should have called this vessels, because you don't have to have a quote unquote flower vase, right? Like you think outside the box, go in the kitchen aisle, where they have things like pitchers and things like that, pottery, things like that you can use to hold fresh or faux flowers. One of my favorite things about thrifting is using things in different ways or in unexpected ways. You find a picture, but you use it to hold flowers. It's one of the things that I love about thrifting and yard saling, because you can get that custom look that is going to be unlike anybody else for like next to nothing. And it looks so much better. It looks so much better than going to, buy that curated, okay, here's your vase, here's your end table, here's your chair. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that curated look just goes a long way, I think. The next thing to look for, and again, well, this is more spring, but botanical artwork and frames. I'm in the frame and artwork section every time I'm at a thrift store, no matter the time of year. But thrift stores are a gold mine for botanical prints, but sometimes they're hard to find. Or nature-inspired artwork. You can find some amazing frame prints that just add a pop of spring. So is that greenery? Is that a colorful flower? Whatever it is. And if you can't find exactly what you're looking for, look at just the frames themselves. Repurpose the frames that are at the thrift store that may have something else in it you don't like, but you love the frame. Put your own art into it. If you've got a daughter that's amazingly talented like ours, I will find like an art piece. Let's just say I'm like at Target or something, and they want $40 for this little tree that's not even like a real art piece. And I can ask Gabrielle to paint it, and they're my favorite things that she does when she does them. Now, it's not like I can just come home and say, hey, will you paint this? Will you do this? And she does them. No, it's not like that. Let's be real. But, if you can paint, or you can, come up with some artwork, the frame section at your thrift store is your friend. So always make sure to look through there. Candlesticks and candle holders, again, all year round, candlesticks, candle holders, they're great for that warm, cozy spring atmosphere. Just, whether it's brass, glass, ceramic, whatever your vibe is, pair it with your favorite spring scented candles, or just the pastel colored candles, just for an easy update for the spring season. Ceramic or glass bowls. Again, this is something kind of like baskets that are so versatile. So you can fill them with decorative eggs, faux fruit, real fruit, spring moss balls, so many things just to create an easy centerpiece and that looks like spring right on your dining room table. And you can find, it's kind of like those pitchers in the pottery. You can find one of a kind things that will fit your decor perfectly, or maybe it's something that you DIY, with all of these things. Think outside the box when you're at the thrift store. So it's a frame you love, but you don't like the color. Change the color. If it's a wood bowl you like, but it needs some stain or something, like, just think outside the box, DIY. A little paint, a little stain can go a long way when you are thrifting to decorate your home. Garden and outdoor decor, check your local restores. Might be a little bit better for stuff like this. But planters, terracotta pots, outdoor furniture, again, yard sales and estate sales would be good for this stuff too. You can repaint and refinish a lot of those things to give it a fresh look, but pots and planters, when you walk into like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, they are expensive. So, you can get these for a lot cheaper than buying them new when you're thrifting for them, or, like at a yard sale or something. So faux greenery and flowers, I'm telling you, check your thrift stores for this. I am always on the hunt for them. Now, this is one thing that has really not made me happy, because this is one thing that the thrift stores around where I shop, are getting crazy for fake stems of like flowers or greenery. So it's been a long time since I have found any that I want to pay for at a thrift store. But again, church sales and yard sales, that's where you'll find them. It's the best when somebody has had something like, maybe it's a baby shower or a wedding like reception, and they bought all this stuff and then they have all of this to get rid of, and they mark it down really cheap. So definitely look out for those. They're just a great way to keep things fresh all season long. And then you don't have to have a green thumb, because I do not. So you can make wreaths out of them. I've done some hanging baskets, so you can hang those on your front door. You can hang them on a hook in your home. There's just so many things you can do with faux stems and flowers that they're worth picking up to have a stash of them. seasonal throw pillows. So I kind of talked about that. It's just same with throw blankets, just a pop of that pastel color or a spring color, a spring floral, instantly just, removing some of your winter linens or your winter blankets, your winter throws, and adding that splash of color makes it perfect for spring. Decorative plates and teacups. So this is another thing to look for. I love the teacups at the thrift stores. And I love tea. I don't drink coffee. They have so many great options of teacups at the thrift store. It's like, they're beautiful to display. Gabrielle, when she was younger, we had a teacup, like a tea party for one of her birthday parties, and the girls made candles in the teacups. We went to the thrift store and found some pretty teacups, and then they poured their own candles, and they're just so pretty. And just their designs alone, just, you can hang them on a wall. You can, just put them on a shelf. And then obviously you can use them, but they're just like a little thing that maybe you don't think about when you're at the thrift stores. So next time you're at a thrift store, just look in the teacup section and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're like this, just usually they're, floral, the colors are amazing. They're dainty and like just perfect for spring. So you could add them to, any room. Obviously you could use them. You could set up a little tea station in your home, but that's just something a little unexpected I thought I would throw into this list for you to check out at the thrift store. So that's what I have for 10 items to look for when you are shopping at your thrift store for spring decor. I would love to know what else you would add to this list. Message me on Instagram at mycreativedays. You can always send me an email, lindsay@mycreativedays.com. I would love to hear what you would add to this list. And I would love to hear what you're finding. Thrifting is one of my favorite things to do. Like, I could talk about thrift store shopping all the time. So I'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear if there are any other thrift store tips or techniques or ideas that you would like to hear from me. I've been thrifting since I can remember. My mom used to take us when we were little, and it was not fun at all. And then in high school, I started doing it on my own. And then I kind of hid it because I was like, this isn't cool. Not everybody does this. My mom's always taken me. Now I think it's kind of cool. And then finally in college, and then I met Matt, and Matt went to thrift stores with his friends. Like, that's what they did. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's a match made in heaven. I was so excited, and the rest is history. So I could talk about thrifting for days. So let me know if there's something else you'd like me to talk about here on the podcast, and I will definitely put that on the schedule. So until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.